to welcome all of you to our first day of Nectar of Instruction sessions. Nectar of Instruction is a very important book, Updeshamrit, written by Sri Arupa Goswami, and our entire movement is in one sense based upon it. And we are very fortunate to have the association of His Grace Harilīla Prabhu with us. So Prabhu is a very well-known person from Mayapur Institute. He was in Dubai working for a corporate company, and then he left his well-paid job, shifted to Sridham Mayapur more than a decade ago, and there he is serving in multiple capacities. He is there in senior management. He was there with environmental friendly waste management system. Now he is also involved with the hospital projects there. And most importantly, of course, Prabhu is very famous for Mayapur Institute as a very wonderful teacher for his very practical presentation of the philosophy. And he is like loved all over. We have been having him before the pre-COVID times. We had him often, but now after COVID, I think he's coming for the first time. So we loudly welcome Prabhu by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
The first important point is the first sentence of the preface itself. The Krishna conscious movement is conducted under the supervision of Avataridesh Mellows. This is a very significant point because normally, suppose the king of this country is there. Can you have relationship with the king of the country directly? No. Is it possible that you can just go to him and then say, hi, how are you? Let's be friends. It's possible to do that? No, it's not possible to do that, right? So, if you want to have relationship with the king of the country, then somebody who knows the king of the country should take you there and then just introduce you, saying that, oh, this person is not me, he's a good guy, he's a nice guy to have a relationship. So, relationships become more and more difficult as the personalities become more and more important. So then, they also become most sought after relationships. Like, everybody is trying to have relationship with some big people. So always it is good to have some relationship with a big personality. Like if you come to know about, like suppose the CEO of your company or the owner of your company is very nice, but if you come to know about the king of this country, it's even more nicer. But if you come to know personally American president, that looks much more nicer, right? So as the person becomes more important, then the relationship gets more value. Now, for us, the most important person is Rupa Goswami. Why? Because Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. And she is the head of all the maid servants of Radharani. Okay. So, she is a very important person. And now she has come as Rupa Goswami. And therefore, Rupa Goswami is a very important person for us. Because by getting Rupa Goswami's introduction, we can get Radharani's introduction. And by getting Radharani's introduction, we can get Krishna's introduction. So, if we come to know Rupa Goswami personally, or if Rupa Goswami has some way we can have some personal relationship with Rupa Goswami, it is considered the most precious thing in our parampara because we are called as Rupa Anudas. Anuda means following. Rupa Anudas means we are followers of Rupa Goswami. So, the first line of the preface, Prabhupada actually gives that opportunity to all of us who read this book and who take this book seriously and who join the Krishna conscious movement seriously. He actually says the Krishna conscious movement is conducted under supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. So therefore, this is our opportunity where Prabhupada, who knows Rupa Goswami, he is putting us under Rupa Goswami's supervision. It is not easy. Believe me, it's not easy. To be under someone like Rupa Goswami's direct supervision, it's not so easy. When Raghunath Goswami wanted to be under the supervision of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that you be under supervision of Swarup Damodar. And then he was being called as Swarup Raghunath. And then to get some direct instruction from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Goswami had to wait for a long time. And then one day Swarup Damodar went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, see, he's waiting for such a long time to get some personal instruction from you. Please, why don't you instruct him? Then Mahaprabhu gave him some instruction. So, to actually get under someone who is very close to Krishna is very difficult. But that opportunity Prabhupada creates in this first book itself to us. So he puts us under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. That's our good fortune which this book creates for us. Thank you. Have a nice day. You know what to do. So therefore, it's very, very important that that we appreciate this opportunity. We appreciate this opportunity because we are now getting in association with the biggest of the big in the spiritual world. So we are associating with such a personality. We are getting under his supervision. We are getting a relationship with him. So it's a very important aspect of our spiritual life. So why that is important? Because unless we have understanding of the 6 Goswamis, really we can't understand what Mahaprabhu is saying. And if we cannot understand what Mahaprabhu is saying, we cannot access Krishna Prema so easily because Mahaprabhu came to make access to Krishna Prema very, very easy. So therefore, it's important to have that connection. And so Rupa Goswami gave Upadeshamrita. Prabhupada gives few reasons why Upadeshamrita. First reason is that so that we may become pure Vaishnavas. Then he also gives few more reasons. So then, these things which Prabhupada is going to write, this you have to remember for the rest of your life. In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to control the mind and senses. This is something which you should remember for the rest of your life. All of us should remember that unless mind and senses are controlled, there is no spiritual life. And mind and senses are controlled means what? Practically what it means. Prabhupada explains that in the next sentence. It practically means that we should actually give up Rajoguna, we should give up Tamoguna, we should come to Sattoguna. This is called mind and senses being under control. So if anyone thinks that my mind and senses are under control, then one has to cross-check back, am I in Rajoguna and Tamoguna? So now how to find out whether I am in Rajoguna or Tamoguna? Very easy. You have to buy one book called Bhagavad Gita. And in that book, Bhagavad Gita, there is last 6 chapters. In the last 6 chapters, all the lifestyle symptoms of Rajoguna and Tamoguna and Sattoguna are explained. How to eat, how to have, how to be clean, how to speak, how to think, how to have faith. Everything in 3 modes is explained. So you just see that what is your lifestyle and what is Krishna saying, and you can immediately correlate, oh, my lifestyle is in Rajoguna, my lifestyle is in Tamoguna. It's not very difficult. So, mind and senses under control means life should be in Sattoguna. Life is in Sattoguna means life is in well disciplined. That's consistency is the hallmark of Sattoguna. So, how much consistent we are in our devotional service, so that gives us good idea about how whether it's Sattoguna or not. And then Prabhupada makes a very important point. What is the point? That advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. What is that attitude? Like there are, in this material world, there are only 4 types of people. How many types of people are there? 4. The Vikarmis, there are Karmis, there are Jnanis, there are Yogis, and then the last one is devotee, 5 types of people. Okay. So I forgot Vikarmi. So Vikarmi, Karmi, Jnani, Yogi, and Bhakta. So generally, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he divides them as Anyabhilashis. Anyabhilashis means Vikarmis. Okay. This is a word this is a term which will keep coming throughout Upadeshamrita. So Anyabhilashis means those who have unnecessary desires. They are Vikarmis. Okay. Then there are Karmis. They are Bhukti Kamis, means that they want enjoyment, but they want enjoyment in pious way. Then there are Jnanis. They are Mukti Kamis. So then there are Jnanis, they are Mukti Kamis. And then there are Yogis who are Siddhi Kamis. Means that those who want enjoyment, those who want liberation, and those who want Siddhis. And then those who want Krishna. Bhakti, those who want Krishna. So, this one, there are only 5 types of people are there. Out of these 5 types of people, the 4 types of people have an attitude. What is that attitude? That I can do everything. That's their attitude, right? That's their attitude. They have an attitude that I am the king, I can do everything. Either they think that I can do everything, or they lament, why can't I do everything? Both are same only. Having pride that I can do everything, and lamenting that why can't I do everything, this is what same only, because both of them come from false ego only. Because it comes from the idea that I am the doer. Okay. So, all these four people, Anyabhilashis and Karmis, Jnani, Yogi, all of them have this attitude that I am the doer, whatever I want, I can achieve by my own effort. Sometimes people say, no, I am a self-made man. You heard this? Like, man, woman, whatever, I am self-made. Sometimes, मेरे खुद का पैर पे मैं खड़ा हूँ. People say like that, no? But they don't understand that the fire was given by father and mother. It was not given, it's not that they got their fire from somewhere. They got that from their father and mother. In the mother's womb, all that fire, heart, everything was formed. So they forget these things. So they say, मेरा खुद का पैर में खड़ा हूँ. किसके किधर से खुद का पैर? कुछ नहीं है. जो उदार का पैर पे खड़ा है. So the point is that these people think that I am self-made. I can achieve everything. I can get what I want. But devotees, they understand that they are completely dependent on Krishna. This is devotee. He understands they are completely dependent on Krishna. That's why in the beginning we are saying, Mukam karoti vachalam, Amandavadaya Tegrim, Yatrapa Kartam Mande, Shiguru Kiratartam, Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya. Then I chanted Kathan, Chana Smrite Yasmin, Dushkaram Sukaram Bhave, Vismrite Viparitam Syat, Sri Chaitanyam Namamitam. Very nice sloka in Chaitanya that is there. It means that somehow or other, if you remember Lord Chaitanya, even the most difficult thing becomes very easy. But if you forget him, even simple things become very complicated. So who want all difficult things to become easy? Everybody wants, right? So what we should do? We should simply remember Lord Chaitanya. So that's why this sloka is very good. So therefore, devotee has this attitude that I cannot do anything myself because my dependence is on Krishna. Body is given by Krishna. Our fate is decided by Krishna's law of nature. Whatever we see in this world, everything is given by Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, because people are saying, no, show me God. People say, what? Show me God. Can you show me God? Krishna says, first of all, you see what I have given, then you can see. So Krishna says, Mattha Parataram Nanyate, Kinchidansi Dhananjaya, Mahi Sarvavidam Protam Shutri Mani. That you see how everything I have arranged in this cosmos. And you see that this is like the pearls arranged in a string. If they are nicely arranged, you cannot see the string, right? They are nicely arranged, you can't see the string, you can only see the pearls. So just because you cannot see the string, if you say there is no string, this is crazy and this is stupidity. Sometimes ladies put plait. To put plait, you have to divide the hair in how many parts? Three parts. But how many you see in the plate? Two. But can you actually make the plate with two parts? No. So the third part which cannot be seen is Krishna. So the two parts which can be seen, that is us and the material world. There is the Jiva and the Prakriti. The third part which cannot be seen is Krishna. But without Krishna, the other two cannot exist. So very easy to remember. You see your hair, you can remember Krishna. Very, very easy to remember Krishna. You just see your hair, you can remember Krishna. So the point is that Krishna then is explaining what Prasavam of Sapanteya, Prabhas, Mr. Shishuraya, Pranas, Sarvadesh, Satake, Porisham, Vishu, Punyaganda, Pratiyavasa, Tejas, Vibhava, so Jivanam, Sarvabhuteshu, Tapasasmi, Tapasvisu, all the Krishna is saying. And if you actually carefully consider what Krishna is saying, whatever Krishna is saying, without that we cannot live. Without that we cannot live. Can we live without water? No, we cannot. Can we live without sun and moon? No. Like that, can we live without some ability to do something? No. Can we live without the ability to take some austerity? No. It's so austere to travel in this traffic, right? So much of traffic, you sit in the car and then you are confined in a small space and then you keep looking at the road and then you drive. Such a great austerity. Because you are able to take that austerity for 2 hours, 3 hours, you are able to go to work, come back, still not become crazy, etc. Therefore, the ability to take austerity is actually coming from Krishna. So anything we have actually comes from Krishna. So therefore, devotee understands this, understood Krishna. So that is the attitude. As much as we have this attitude has two aspects. One aspect is that understanding that I am completely dependent on Krishna. The second aspect of this attitude will be explained in the third sloka. So you remind me at that time I will tell you. Okay. So therefore, Rupa Goswami wrote this Upadeshamrita so that we can become Goswamis. Goswamis means one who actually controls the senses. This was what we are told, right? What is the first duty of a person in spiritual life? What is the first duty? Mind and senses. Okay, we should always remember. So then, if we actually follow these instructions, then it will be easier to make one's life successful. That's what Prabhupada says. No. I actually deliberately missed two words. What are the two words?
Very strictly.
Very strictly. We should follow the instruction how? Very strictly. This is very important to remember. We should follow this instruction very strictly. If we follow this instruction very strictly, then it will become easy to make our life successful. So this is the preface. Now we chant the first sloka. Okay. Those who know to chant, please chant. We chant together. Vachotregam manasatrodavegam jivavegam udarosastravegam edan vedan yogishavegam sarvam imam prithvim sashishya. So a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, the urges of tongue, belly and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So this is the first shloka of the Upadeshamrita. So we may say that I am not going to make disciples all over the world, so first shloka doesn't apply to me. But actually, I'll give a small overview of how it works, how the shlokas work. The first two shlokas actually make us human beings. If you are not able to follow the first two shlokas, the life in such a platform is called animal platform. Okay? Because first shloka, it actually talks about controlling the urges, right? So animals don't have any ability to control the urge, right? When any animal, it becomes hungry, immediately it has to go and eat. It cannot wait, right? When the time comes for reproduction, immediately it will go try to find a mate and then have sex, right? It will not wait. It will not think that no, let us wait. No, not like first of all let me get a job, then let me get house, let me get car, then I will get married. Nothing like that. Animals don't wait for these things. They simply, the time comes, they simply go and have union because the urge is there, bodily urge is there. When they have to pass stool, they will not see where is the toilet, nothing. They will just pass stool. When they have to drink water, they will just drink water. Simply they are driven by the urges of their bodies. So therefore, the essential difference between human life and animal life is that human being is taught to control the urges. When the child is born, he is like animal only. The child is like animal only. It knows only how to drink milk from the mother's breast. Otherwise, the child doesn't know anything. The only thing we don't teach the child is how to drink milk from mother's breast. The child automatically drinks. But the child doesn't know how to control the stool, how to control the urine, how to express itself. Nothing the child knows. Wherever the child is lying, it will simply pass stool, simply put urine, everything that the child will do. And doesn't even know that stool and urine is not good. Sometimes it will pass stool and urine and try to eat that also. So the child will do so many kind of things because the child has no sense of controlling the urges. He will not know once the teeth comes, he will not know what to put inside, what not to put inside. Whatever he gets the hand, try to put inside. So like that, the urge is there. The urge to actually bite something is there. So the child body, we have no control over the urges. Then the mother, the father, they do toilet training. They do tell the child, you have to dress like this. You should not go out like this. So everything is trained. The child is trained in such a way that the child is controlling the urges. So the training to control the urges is not something new. It's not only limited to spiritual life, there's a basic trait of human life. The basic trait of human life is to control the urges. But what we do is that to a certain extent we control the urges, and after that we become victim of the urges. Because we have no sense of the point that all urges should be controlled. So therefore Rupa Goswami is actually listing for us what are the urges to be controlled, so that we can actually control that. What we have to control? We have to control two things. Mind and senses. So to control the mind and senses, the first thing is to control the urges, because the senses, they are driven by sense objects. Some sense objects comes in front of the sense. There is no plan. Like you are walking, and then suddenly there is an aroma of nice gulab jamun coming, and then you have no plan of eating gulab jamun. You just get the aroma, then you are running behind the gulab jamun suddenly. That you are now already behind the gulab jamun. You are thinking that when can I eat this gulab jamun? This is called the sense. That is the appearance of the sense object is not planned. The sense object appears, and the senses are immediately attracted. There is no plan, but the nature of the senses is to get attracted to the sense objects. So therefore, this is called urge. There is no plan. But one should be very careful not to become victim of these 6 types of urges. First urge is to what? First urge is to speak. This is the first urge. The first urge is to speak. Because speaking is the method by which we primarily communicate. So therefore, speaking is the first urge. Something we see immediately, we want to say something. Or it is, whatever it is, something has to be spoken. So the urge to speak is very, very strong. The urge to speak is very, very strong. That is why it is very difficult for us to sit in a class and listen. You try to sit in a class and listen for some time, you cannot. Then you have to speak to somebody. Then you have to speak to the next person. What's in the camera? Something you have to do, because it's such a strong urge to speak. You have to express yourself, right? So it's a very strong urge. So therefore, that's the first thing to be controlled. So can we just stop speaking? No, we cannot stop speaking. We have to speak. So therefore, controlling the urge to speak means speak when necessary. That is called controlling the urge to speak. When it is necessary to speak, it is necessary to speak when we have to serve Krishna. So there is necessary to speak when we have to serve Krishna or the Vaishnavas. So when we serve Hariguru Vaishnavas, then there is necessity to speak. So therefore, the speaking power should be utilized in the service of Hariguru Vaishnavas. So that means one primary point we are coming to. What is that primary point we are coming to? That whatever we do, it should be some sort of service. There should be some connection with what we do. This we will discuss more in the second sloka. Okay. So therefore, speaking sense should be utilized in Krishna's service. If there is no need to, if there is no Krishna service in terms of doing things, there is no need to speak also. You can just keep quiet. Sometimes you find that you go to some place, people have so many things to speak, but then you just find no topic to speak because they are speaking so many things. You have no connection to these things. You just like you're like okay, waiting for an opportunity, and then when the opportunity comes, just simply cut in and then speak about Bhagavad Gita, speak about Bhagavatam. Then 2 things will happen. Those who are interested will listen. Those who are not interested will run away. So you just wait and then speak nicely. So then there's the urge to speak, Vashavegam. Then mind. Mind is running here and there, here and there, here and there. Mind is always wandering. So the mind has to be controlled. How to control the mind? The very easy way to control the mind is to actually utilize all the senses in Krishna's service. Because mind is where the senses are. So if you are utilizing all the senses in Krishna's service, then mind will also be in Krishna's service. And the easiest way to control the mind is chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then somebody will say, oh, Prabhuji, You are joking, because the biggest problem with the mind comes only when we are chanting. You are simply saying chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Control the mind. Go and tell somebody who has not experienced the mind's designs when we are chanting. Go and tell somebody else. This is all not for us. We are all experienced chanters. We have understood how the mind can pull us all over the place. So therefore, Prabhupada says that when we actually chant the holy name, what we should do?
Listen.
We should hear the chanting. So that's the easiest and simplest technique to bring the mind. That we chant the holy name, we actually hear every syllable very carefully, and then we chant also every name very clearly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So we don't rush through, we just chant clearly. So then there is a good chance that the mind will remain with us. Sometimes people see one mantra card and chant because their eyes are also on the mantra. And then when you move the beats, you have to actually also be conscious of moving the beats. It helps two ways. One way is that you will not quickly move the beats. Second, you'll actually be very conscious. The second is the touch sense is also utilized in the chanting. So more senses are utilized, then better it works. Okay. Then Vacha Vegam, Manasa Vegam, then Krodha Vegam. This is the urge to become angry. Everybody wants to become angry with everybody else. This is the most common thing in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, everybody wants to become angry with everybody else. Now, how to control anger? You can utilize anger in Krishna's service. That's what he said by Rupa Goswami, that please utilize the anger in Krishna's service.
Using our
Yeah, that is Krishna's service. If someone is blaspheming the Vaishnavas or blaspheming Krishna, then we can utilize anger against them. We can tell them that stop this nonsense, don't do like this. We can utilize anger against them. But how to work with anger? What to do with anger?
Dhyayata Vishwantam.
Dhyayata Vishwantam Saha, Sangate Shubhajayate, Sangat Sanjayate, Kama Krodha Vijayate, Krodha Krodha Samoha, Sukhipram, 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 very good. We know the shloka. We know that shloka. But what to do with anger now?
In one Bhagavatam verse, I remember reading Prabhupada mentioned about to control anger one should learn forgiveness.
To control anger one should learn forgiveness. Okay, good. It's very nice. Nice quote from Bhagavatam. What else we can do to control anger?
Keep it for next day.
Keep it for next day.
To boil the anger.
Yeah, just postpone it. Postpone the anger. Keep it for next day. Who knows next day whether we are alive or not? Jinda hai to dekh lenge. It's a good thing. Okay. Yes.
Stop blaming others for our misfortune.
Stop blaming others for our misfortune. It's high level philosophy.
I got it from you only.
How to control the anger?
Stop looking faults in others. Stop looking faults in others.
Yeah, stop finding. Generally, if you are satisfied, you will not become angry. Okay. So if you are satisfied, you will not become angry. Okay. So generally, we should train ourselves to be satisfied with material conditions. Okay. This is the most very important thing. That whatever material condition is there, we should try to be satisfied. Yeah. So if you are satisfied, then we won't become so much angry. Most of the time, anger comes due to dissatisfaction. Okay. So if you always remain satisfied and happy, then it's very difficult to become angry. But we should train ourselves to be like that. We should train ourselves to be satisfied. Husband should be satisfied with wife. Wife should be satisfied with husband. This is the most important place, that they should be satisfied with each other. Is janam ke liye ye kafi hai. This janma, this relationship is I am satisfied. I got this relationship with this janma. I am satisfied with this. Okay. With whatever package it is. Sometimes the package, some part of the package is good, some part of the package is not so good. It applies to both husband and wife. I'm not only saying one side. Some part of the package is good, some part of the package is not so good. But one should be overall satisfied. And once one is satisfied with material things, not like one should be satisfied with Krishna consciousness. I am chanting 16 hours, I am very satisfied. It should not be like that. Because we have to chant minimum 16 rounds. We have to chant. Everybody remembers now how many are initiated. So what did you promise?
At least.
At least 16 rounds. So if you are chanting 16 rounds, you are getting 35 marks.
We need 70.
If you are chanting 16 rounds, you are getting 35 marks. This is what we are getting. We should not be satisfied with 16 rounds. Okay, 16 rounds chanting, ho gaya, ha ha ha. It should not be like that. So we should always have the urge to chant more, but we should be satisfied with material circumstances. Whatever material circumstances around us, we should be satisfied with that. So, anger, and where we should be angry, this was explained, like Prabhuji explained nicely, that wherever there is blasphemy of Krishna or devotees, then we should become angry. Then the urges of the tongue, belly, and the genitals. So all the three on one line. So the urges of the tongue the urges of the belly and genitals is controlled by controlling the urges of the tongue. This is where it starts. So how to control the urge of the tongue?
Taking only prasadam.
By taking only prasadam. So can somebody define what is only prasadam?
The water we eat, we offer to the Lord.
Yeah.
And as bhoga, and then we offer the remnants.
Okay, good, nice. Anything else?
Food which is cooked by a devotee.
Now we are getting more specific. Food which is cooked by
devotee.
the food which is cooked by devotee and then offered
by
to the Lord.
love.
Generally, we should take like that. Generally, we should take like that. That's something which is cooked by devotee and offered to the Lord. Very emergency circumstance, we may take some vegetarian thing. It should not be like a default setting. Are green dot hai khalo. Okay. I have to eat this night. Okay, so we'll keep it in the hand. So then it's okay.
It's not cooked by a devotee, so you cannot.
Hare Krishna. Okay, this is fine. Thank you, Pastor. Yeah, so the point is that only prasadam means you should always try to have something which is cooked by devotee, offered, and then you should try to eat. Not that some ready-made food which is vegetarian, or you go to hotel, think that this chain food, and then you eat. What is that?
Mind is running away.
This is global. I never knew this kind of. Don't give ideas. If you want to do this, do it very silently. Don't publicly publicize this. Generally, it should be cooked by devotee, and then we should have it. So therefore, see, the first thing is that we should resolve it. We should resolve that we should have only prasadam. This is the most important thing, and that we should resolve that we should have only prasadam. We should not think that okay, we can eat anything and everything as long as there is no onion and garlic. We can eat it. We can say Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, and then we can eat. We should not get into these kind of things. Okay, first we should decide that we'll eat only prasadam. This first thing. Okay. The second is that we should be determined to do it. So that means we should plan everything properly in such a way that we can have everything. We should plan properly. Like when we travel, that means we should first of all make arrangements that who will feed us. The most important arrangement we should make. Whether we have place to stay or not, we should make nice feeding arrangements. That who will, from where we get prasad, how we can eat. So these are very important things. And we should also pack nicely. That okay, it's going to be 1 day travel. That means what we can take for 1 day or 2 day travel. What we can take for 2 days. What children like to eat. So everything should make nice arrangements. So then it becomes a habit. Okay, we take only prasad. Because the more we eat food which is in tamoguna and rajoguna, the more our consciousness will get contaminated. So therefore, the most important aspect of controlling the urges of the body, which is the urge of the tongue, belly, and the genitals. This is to actually have Krishna Prasad. So then urge of the belly, how to control is that eat in limited manner. Everything should be limited. Eating should be limited. So that's how we control the urge of the belly. Just because it's available, we should not try to eat more. Of course, in the beginning, it's nice to eat a lot of prasad. That's why it's not that we should restrict someone who is coming new. In the beginning, the person, if he likes prasad, we should feed him prasad up to this point. Not even up to this point. To this point, we should feed. It's good because they get some taste for eating prasad, and then after some time, then they will get all so much of ghee and sugar and everything. So naturally, they will get so many problems and start. So very Krishna says Bhagavad Gita Yuktahara Viharasya Yukta Chetasya Karmasya Swapna Bodhasya Yoga Bhavati Dukkha. So therefore we should have clear idea of what we eat, how much we want to eat, etc. Generally it's nice to eat in measures, that we do it nicely in measures. So access of genitals is a best way to have procreational sex. But if that standard cannot be followed, then at least there should be regulated sex life. And then the idea should be to progressively give up sex life. So that's the way to control the urges of the genitals. Of course, it's a very long purport. Prabhupada says so many things. But in the beginning of the purport, Prabhupada actually discusses a very important point, a very interesting point. That point is about atonement. Why Prabhupada is discussing about atonement means, the reason is that the urges come from the sinful proclivity. The source of urge is sinful proclivity, kutam. There is kutam, there is bijam, there is papam, there is prarabdha, there is aprarabdha. Okay. Kutam means sinful proclivity. Like the jiva has done many sins previously. That combination of all those sins gives him a proclivity. Means that sinful activities have left an impression in the mind, and mind has taken those sinful activities as part of the identity of the jiva. Like that has become jiva's identity, part of his identity. So when the jiva thinks that who am I, he thinks that I am this person who can do this kind of activity. I am a thief, I can steal. So he thinks like that. So where did that part, how did that came to him? Because he has some impressions in the mind, and mind has accepted those impressions as part of his identity. That's the reason why these things are coming. So the urges, and then there is an opportunity to actually engage with the senses and the sense object. Like for example, the guy likes gulab jamun. Mind is registered in the mind. That what is registered in the mind? I am a gulab jamun liker. Is registered in the mind. It has become part of his identity. So the moment he sees gulab jamun, he has to like it because it is part of his mental identity. Then he sees gulab jamun, he says, "Hey, this is something I like. I have to eat this." So that is how the urge comes. The urge comes because of this. So therefore, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it actually cleans up the mind. Cheta Darpana Marjana. It cleans up the mind. So it actually starts putting us in the right identity. What is our identity? When we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are in our right identity. What identity we are taking? Servant of Radharani Krishna. So that's the identity we are taking. So all other mental identities which we are having, those mental identities are getting removed when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So therefore, it is Prabhupada says that the best atonement is chanting Hare Krishna. But then Prabhupada also gives a very important warning. What is that? Yeah, while chanting Hare Krishna, one should not again commit sinful activities. So therefore, the package to become human being, it consists of two parts. One part is what we should do, and the other part is what we should not do. What is the doing part? The doing part is chanting the holy name. Not doing part is
Repeat the six. What are mistakes we have done?
You have to follow 4 regulative principles. That is a not doing part. What is that? No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. We should follow this very strictly. This is not doing part. So when you actually do what is positive and avoid what is negative, then automatically then the sinful proclivity will go away. Because in Kali Yuga, the sin is in these 4 places: meat eating, intoxication, gambling. We all know this. So that is the importance of 4 regulative principles, and it should be how it should be followed.
Very strictly.
Very strictly it should be followed. It should be followed very strictly. That's important thing. That's more or less the overview of the first shloka. Then we go to the second shloka. In the second shloka, also sense control is discussed, right? So we chant the second shloka. So somebody can read this.
Once devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following 6 activities: eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required, over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters, practicing the spiritual rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically, associating with the worldly-minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, and being greedy for mundane achievements.
Yeah, so these 6 items, now they also are dealing with sense control, and also the first shloka is also dealing with sense control. So what is the difference between first shloka and second shloka?
The first shloka talks about the senses.
This also talks about senses. If you have to achieve all this, you have to control the senses.
Activities which needs to be avoided.
Yeah, that also is to be avoided. So this also talks about sense control. That also talks about sense control. This also talks about activities need to be avoided. That also talks about activities which need to be avoided. So what is the difference between first shloka and second shloka? The difference between first shloka and second shloka is that in the first shloka, urges are unplanned activities. The very nature of urge is unplanned. You don't plan to get an urge. Like you don't make a plan to get an urge. Urge happens. The senses, they come in contact with the sense object suddenly, and then there's a gush of desire to fulfill the senses. They want the gush of desire to gratify the senses. So that's like a unplanned thing. The first shloka deals with what is not planned. The second shloka deals with what is planned. All these activities which are listed in the second shloka, they are all planned activities. People plan to do these activities. People plan to collect more than necessary funds. Because just earning becomes a habit. You keep on earning and you don't know why you are earning. And then you end up spending just because you are earning. So it is important for devotees to actually sit and plan how much you want to earn. And then still you are earning money, then from that point you should start giving all the money away from charity. You keep some little money and give the entire money in charity if you are still earning, right? Because you have earned enough money for yourself. So there should be some plan how much to earn, or then you stop earning, right? Either because you already have planned, you planned that, yesterday I was talking to an young man and he told me, Prabhuji, I want to give this much amount in charity. He explained one amount. He said, I want to give every year this much amount in charity. So then I sat and made some calculation with him. And I told him, I asked him, how much in 10 years, how much money you want to make. So we put all this thing and then finally I gave a calculation to him. I said, see, this is what you are looking at. Now you decide whether it is practical or not practical. And how much you have to do, what kind of effort you have to do to earn this kind of money, and whether you know how it is going to affect your Krishna consciousness, how it's not going to affect your Krishna. It's a very, very practical thing. a very practical thing. Everybody should have a plan. Everybody should have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, you are just not going to have any control of what is happening in your life. It just becomes like a automatic thing. You just keep on going, and you don't know why you are going. Yeah. So this is it's eating more than necessary. People plan their eating. That Ekadashi is coming. Now we have to plan what to eat. Come on, give me a break. Ekadashi is meant for not thinking about eating and thinking about Krishna. But in ISKCON, when Ekadashi comes only, everybody starts thinking about what to eat. They start making big plan. Ekadashi is coming. Yes, ye banana hai, wo banana hai, isko karna hai. That's the day you are supposed to think about more about Krishna and less about eating. So the point is, there is a lot of plan in eating process. So especially overeating. So therefore, this is planned process. Same way, over-enduring for mundane things is a very difficult to obtain. Krishna says that whatever comes with minimum endeavor, we should be happy with it. So naturally, somebody gets more, somebody gets less, and the person doesn't stress himself. Some people, they don't stress themselves, but they make a lot of money. Why? Because it is there and they are coming to them by naturally doing that. They are coming to them. But some people, they want so much, and then they make very less money. But one should be satisfied with what can come on its own accord. Otherwise, one will plan to earn so much. I should do this, I should buy this, There's unlimited things in this world. To spend money, you can unlimitedly spend money. Whole lifetime you can spend money and still you will not be satisfied. You see all rich people, they are not satisfied. They have so much money but they are not satisfied. They become so old, and after becoming so old, they divorce their wife. And then they want to have another wife. So many things are happening. This material world, people are going crazy. The fellow who is not having money is also crazy. The fellow who is having money is also crazy. Both of them are dissatisfied. So then, therefore, over-endeavoring to obtain mundane things that are difficult to obtain, this is another big plan people make, over-endeavoring plans. Then talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matter. This is a $1 billion industry. Number 3 is a $1 billion industry. How much money all the social media are investing into it? Like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Twitter, and what else is there? So many things. It's such a $1 billion industry. Just the unnecessary Prajalpa is a $1 billion industry in Kaliyuga. Because people simply want to keep others to keep engaged in conversation. We just keep looking at the screen and then just typing something, doing something. Then you have so many emoji, tamoji, everything. This is not emoji, it's all tamoji. It's all a mode of ignorance. Why? Because first of all, the communication through mobile phone is mode of ignorance. Then you have to add emotion to it by artificially putting something, and half the people really don't know what they are putting there. Recently, I read one news item that in one country, one fellow put like this, and then because of that put like this, he actually got sued in the court, and it actually became contractual thing, and he had to pay money because putting this is actually a sign of confirmation. And then there was some business transaction. This fellow innocently put this, and finally the fellow actually claimed damages from him. He's saying that you already agreed, the contract is there, they went to court and you have to pay. So half the people don't know what they are putting there. But they are happily putting something and then sending, okay, let it go. And to make emojis, how much money they spend, how much research they do. Unnecessary conversation is a $1 billion industry, multi-billion dollar industry in Kaliyuga. And when we engage in that unnecessary conversation, we don't know how much time is going. So therefore, it's very important to understand that we should stop this. We should stop this. Then the fourth point, practicing scriptural rules and regulation, everything as for our own mind. This is another important point. Whatever is convenient for us, we want to follow. Whatever is not convenient, we don't want to follow. Then associating with worldly minded people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. This is another big problem. Many times devotees themselves say, okay, he's not a devotee, but he's a nice guy. He's not a devotee, but he's a nice guy. How can anybody be nice guy and be in the material world? See, the basic aspect of material world is a not nice place. Okay, this is the first thing we should understand. And then whoever is the material world is not a nice person. Except the acharyas who come to this material world, everybody else is not a nice person. Everybody else has come to this material world because they are not nice. This is the default setting of everybody. Everybody is not nice. One who tries to become Krishna conscious is trying to become nice. This is what Bhagavatam says. Bhagavatam says that one who practices Krishna consciousness is trying to become nice. And one who is not practicing Krishna consciousness, he is not nice. So therefore, we should be very clear that we should deal with the material world with the minimum required time and process. That's how we should deal with the material world. We should not try to open our heart, or we should not try to too much engage in conversation with materialistic people. We should not listen to their advice. We should not listen to their advice. We should not take part in their plans. We should not let them plan our life. We should not do all those things. And being greedy for mundane achievements. Something people are so much greedy for nowadays for so many different things. They want to achieve this, they want to achieve that, they want to achieve this and that and everything. And sometimes children become victim of the parents' greed. Our parents think that our children should chant 64 rounds, they should ride a horse, they should have the expert in karate, they should also do break dance, and they should be do public speaking, and and then they also come first in the class, and then go to America and then get a degree, and then also earn $1 million, and then be Uttamadhikari also. It's not possible to be like that. Yeah. So therefore, we should moderate our expectations and we should not be greedy. We should be greedy in Krishna consciousness. Our greed should be shown in Krishna consciousness because that's the price we pay for becoming devotee. Tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam. Janma koti sukridai na labhyate. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati. Very nicely is explained that the mind or the consciousness which is saturated in Krishna consciousness is extremely difficult to get. So the only price you can pay for it is to have the greed for it, to have the desire, not desire, greed for it. Desire is still okay, अच्छा है, मिलेगा तो अच्छा है. Greed is ये नहीं मिलेगा तो मैं मर जाएगा. Like desire is like okay, is good, but greed is like iPhone नहीं मिलेगा तो जिंदगी नहीं है. This is greed, like that. People think like that. That ये कार नहीं है तो जिंदगी नहीं है, ये फोन नहीं है तो जिंदगी नहीं है, या ये बच्चे लोग सोचते हैं कि ये वीडियो गेम नहीं है तो जिंदगी नहीं है, क्या Xbox, Y-box जो भी है नहीं है तो जिंदगी नहीं है. People think like that. So this is being greedy for mundane achievement. So the difference between the first shloka and second shloka is that the second shloka are planned activities. So how to overcome this? By counter planning. Actually, we should recognize whether these plans are there. We should sit with the shloka and actually see what is my plan, and we should actually recognize that these plans are there in my life or not. Then you counter plan, like what I said, you actually plan that how much money you need in life. So this is a good plan to do. And you plan that what facilities you can what minimum facilities you can be satisfied with. Okay, this is the minimum facility, with this facility I can be satisfied with. Then you just work for that facility. and then you plan your time very carefully. Make sure that you have very fixed time for engaging with social media if you have to engage in social media. If you don't have to engage in social media, don't engage in social media. If you have to engage, then make sure you have very limited time. And don't get into things which are not Krishna conscious in social media. Even though it may be so attractive, even though it may be so nice, or play this game, touch this thing to play this game, do this thing, and for God's sake, don't post pictures in social media. Whenever you want to post a picture in social media, you first go and stand in front of the mirror and then look at yourself in the same pose and see whether if you stand like this in front of 1,000 people, it will be acceptable to you or not. For many of us, if we have to stand like that in front of 1,000 people, it's not acceptable. We won't do it. But just because we are alone and we are not physically standing in front of 1,000 people, we keep posting these pictures. And then what anapshara people see these pictures and what they think, what they do, nobody knows. So don't waste your time in posting pictures in social media. This is a very bad thing for devotees to do. Unless you have something which is like a preaching mission and you're posting some preaching pictures, that's fine. Otherwise, who would like to stand? Who would like to do it? Nobody likes to do it. If you ask any one of you just to come and stand in front here and then give a pose, if you ask any one of you, just stand in front of this guy, all of you are known to each other, right? Like almost known crowd. Okay, come and stand in front here and then give a pose. You feel so shy, you don't want to do it, right? Why would you do it in front of people whom we don't know? And waste time in trying to upload the picture, upload the video, upload this, upload that. Why? There's no need. We should be very careful how much time we are spending on social media. Because the biggest culprit nowadays is Prajalpa. It's eating so much of time. Sometimes you have to take conscious decisions. Like I have no outside social media approach. Okay, I have only Krishna conscious so-called Krishna conscious social media. I don't deal with people who are outside, and I don't have to deal with people who are outside. I only deal with people who are devotees. And then at one point, I was added to so many Krishna conscious groups. And then, the same message will come in 10 groups. And everybody will circulate the same message. So what I did, I actually bought a SIM card and then wrote to all of them, except my service messages, I wrote all of them. Now, this is my personal SIM card. Please transfer all your groups to this personal SIM card. So everybody did that. Then I took the SIM card and threw it. I really did that. I'm not joking. I got rid of all social media once for all. And then I put this strict control in WhatsApp that nobody can add me to any group unless I give permission. So it's very important to have a proper plan to deal with social media if we have to deal with it. If you don't have a plan, then social media will kill you. It will take away your time, it will completely kill you, take away your Krishna consciousness. You will not know what you are doing. I see people get ruined by social media. And simply Prajalpa. Millions of dollars being spent just to ruin people's lives. So we should be very careful about this because this is going to destroy our devotional service. Then we also talked about association with worldly minded people. And the other important thing which we find is all the other thing is that being greedy for mundane achievements. So So again, this also needs a planning, proper planning, that what you want to achieve and what will be satisfied with. It needs some proper planning. Okay, so we'll stop here. We have seen preface and two more shlokas. So it's good enough. Then we'll stop here.